Hey, welcome to Night Combos. It's Lovey here. I actually hear hubby coming in the door now. He just got home from work. Y'all know Gypsy had to run to mainstream media over Father's Day. And she told them that she thought that it was so adorable that Ken is maturing into a father and stuff. So we're going to talk about that and a couple of other things. But first, real quick, thank you so much to all of our subscribers. And thank you so much to all of our new subscribers and welcome. We're like 22 subscribers away from reaching 4,350, which would be so amazing. So if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos, all of the things, and we would truly appreciate it so very much. And again, we truly love and appreciate all of you so much that are already a part of our family and channel here. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to touch on this. A couple of people said something about this when we were talking about this in our Father's Day post video, where Gypsy made this post to her dad and wrote the long thing, to her dad, and then only posted a picture to Ken for Father's Day. When we had showed this, I had made the statement that he's feeding baby Aurora a bottle of formula. Why aren't they starting to feed her actual food yet, actual baby food yet, like stage 1, baby food yet? And people were saying, there was only a few people, but people were saying, well, how do you know she's not doing that yet? And, she would still be drinking formula. I never said that she would not still be drinking formula. Yes, she would still be drinking formula, but this is also the time where you start to kind of feed your baby, actual baby food, pureed foods at this point in time. And the main way we know that Gypsy's not doing that yet, other than from sources who have told us, the main way we know that is Gypsy has not made a video about it. So you could think about it that way, like if Gypsy was feeding baby Aurora actual baby food, she would, even if she blurs her face or whatever she does on her YouTube channel and all, she would make a big deal out of this. She would be making TikTok posts about it. She would be commenting about it. She would be making videos saying that she's feeding baby Aurora baby food. Or look at baby Aurora's first time eating baby food, and she would make a whole video and post about it. So we could kind of think about it that way. And then also someone brought this to my attention, which they made a good point with this. They were being very kind and nice when they brought this up, which I do appreciate. We don't mind constructive criticism or y'all being nice in the comments and saying, hey, think about it this way or that way, because that's what we're here to do. We're all a family. We can all have a conversation. It's fine. It's no big deal. We may change each other's mind. We may agree to disagree and move on to the next video or whatever. But someone had brought this up because I was talking about her cutting the grass, and I was saying how she had not had the baby in about a week at this point, and wondering y'all's thoughts on that. But one thing I had said was, okay, you have the grass cut. Now you could get a blanket and take the baby outside. And they were talking about, well, it's hot outside. You don't want to take the baby out when, it's too hot outside, but also after you've cut the grass. So they did bring up a good point, because I should have made myself a little more clear on this. What I was meaning was, because they brought up, you don't know if the baby has allergies and all of that, and then Gypsy would absolutely use that to play victim even more, which she would. But my point was, one, this was a cloudy, shady day. But two, yes, it could have been still too hot for the baby. But my point mainly was, okay, you got the grass cut now, so tomorrow, after the grass and all that stuff isn't flying all around from you cutting it just now, although it is being sucked into the bag on the lawnmower that's attached to the lawnmower, but still, you know, the next day you could like get a blanket and go outside in a shady, excuse me, y'all, in a shady area and be with her. They have a lot of shaded areas where their house is. Okay, they have the gazebo area under the porch. There's so many areas where she could lay a blanket out and play with baby Aurora on the blanket with some of baby Aurora's toys or something. Spend time with her, one-on-one quality time, teaching her and letting her be outside in the fresh air is all I was meaning. But yes, we don't know if she has allergies and stuff. But at the same time, she's old enough where she could go outside when it is cooled off. So like later in the evening after it has cooled off and the grass isn't flying around. So like the next day or something, like I was saying, she could put a blanket out on the grass and sit outside with Aurora. Not for long, but just, you know, a few minutes. Just take her outside for a few minutes at a time. Put a little bit of sunscreen on her. Baby safe, infant safe sunscreen. And bring her outside and let her breathe some fresh air and enjoy some one-on-one time with you outside in the fresh air is all I was meaning by that. But I appreciate that person that brought that up, because now I can clarify what I was meaning by that. So I hope y'all understand and y'all get what I was saying now. Y'all look at Dee Dee. We came across several pictures that we had of Dee Dee from when she was in high school, when she was in the ROTC, on the drill team, when she was winning pageants and carrying her trophies and all of that. And we came across her graduation picture. So I just wanted to show that to y'all and give y'all this image to have in y'all's head. And then y'all remember this video that we showed y'all where Gypsy made this saying this was Ken's Father's Day, right? And she takes some rose petals and throws it on him. He seems to be completely uninterested in her at all. Like I was saying, y'all, hubby would have grabbed me and pulled me close to him, you know, and we'd be, you know, I'd be giggling, laughing. The camera would have to shut off. But he's completely uninterested in her. But remember, he signed that NDA, so that explains why he would stay with her. Okay, with Dee Dee's graduation picture in mind and Gypsy throwing roses on Ken's head after she unalived Dee Dee, brutally unalived Dee Dee, her own mom, and only went to prison for 8 years for it and is now out and almost off of parole, which we'll talk about in just a second. Y'all take a look at this article. So she ran to People magazine for Father's Day. And this is what she had to say. So the article begins by saying, Gypsy Rose Blanchard celebrates boyfriend Ken Urker's first Father's Day since welcoming daughter Aurora. Amazing man. The pair rekindled their romance in March 2024 after breaking off their engagement years prior. Because remember, he proposed to her while she was in prison in October of 2018, and a few months later he broke up with her. And that's when she started talking to Ryan and all of that. But she never lost contact with Ken. She stayed in contact with Ken the whole time. He was dating another girl, and also when he was apparently hooking up with, you know, guys too, which nothing's wrong with that, but I'm just saying, she never lost contact with him through all of that. Then the article goes on to say, and this is short, but it goes on to say, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is celebrating Ken Urker's first Father's Day as a dad. After rekindling their romance in April 2024, Blanchard, 33, and Urker welcomed their first child together, daughter Aurora Raina Urker. which is also Chrissy's dog's name. Remember, y'all? The dog's name is Aurora. But that's a whole nother thing. Like, I don't know why you would do that. But to each their own, I guess. It says, after rekindling their romance in April 2024. Now, do y'all see that? After rekindling their romance in April 2024. But right up here, the very first sentence was, the pair rekindled their romance in March 2024. Y'all see that? People Magazine, get it together, because all y'all do is spread lies for this girl. All y'all do is continue to play out her narrative for her, and she loves it. She feeds into this. Stop it. We all know they got together in March of 2024, which is when she was still with Ryan. Gypsy has admitted that. Then she's also gone on to say that her and Ken didn't get back together until April. And then they had sex April 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And then she conceived on May 4th and got a positive pregnancy test at the end of May. I mean, she's let us in on so much of her personal and even more personal sex life. It's ridiculous. But People Magazine put, they rekindled their romance in March 2024. Then right down here they write, after rekindling their romance in April 2024. But we all know it's March 2024. So, okay. Blanchard, 33, and Urker welcomed their first child together, Aurora Raina Urker, the following December. Because remember, she got pregnant right away. As soon as she hopped off of Ryan's Dee, she hopped right on to Ken's Dee in the same month. That's why there was the whole paternity test and all of that. In her post via Instagram stories, the proud mom shared a snap of Urker holding on to their little one, whose face is covered by a baby emoji. Happy Father's Day at Ken Urker, Blanchard wrote in text over the photo. You are an amazing man and father. We love you. And we showed y'all the post the other day. And that was the post that she posted. Then it says, Blanchard previously opened up to people about witnessing Urker step into the role of father in March, noting the beauty of their family of 3 growing together. Now, y'all remember what Ken wrote to Gypsy on Mother's Day? Remember, they weren't together on Mother's Day. The day before Mother's Day, they got into it, had a fight, whatever. Gypsy said that she was being petty, and she unfollowed Ken, and so did Christy, which is odd, but okay, whatever. I guess she was trying to support Gypsy. But Gypsy said, was I acting petty? Yes. Did I follow him right back or request to follow him right back? Yes. And then, a few days later, they were back together again. But Ken posted an older picture of Gypsy right after baby Aurora was first born on Mother's Day and wrote this right here. Happy very first Mother's Day to you, Gypsy. Watching you bloom into the mother you have become has truly been extraordinary. I smile every day knowing what a strong, resilient, and loving mother Aurora has. Thank you for all that you do for her. Now, with that in mind, do y'all think Gypsy's kind of trying to, in a sly way, get back at Ken a little bit with what she's about to say right here? Saying that it's adorable. It really is, Blanchard said. It's one of those heart-touching moments because it's like, this is new for the both of us, but also Ken was young when we met. And so it's adorable and really heartwarming to see him grow and mature through the process. I've learned that he is a lot more patient than I gave him credit for, she continued. So it's been wonderful to watch him grow as a person through the last year, but also step into this new mature role. Y'all think she's trying to be, a little bit sly and like get him a little bit on the down low, like try to get him back a little bit for what he wrote to her on Mother's Day? They weren't together on Mother's Day, and he was still trying to be nice and just post something to her and write something to her for her first Mother's Day. Now, I'm not trying to take Ken's side or anything like that. I'm just spelling it out for you. Ken was just simply trying to be nice, but it seems like, in my opinion anyway, but y'all can let us know what y'all's is, it seems like Gypsy's trying to get him back by saying like, oh, when we met, Ken was young, and now, watching him mature into this new role, is amazing and all of that. Gypsy, Ken is only 1 year younger than you. 1 year. Okay? So Ken is 32 years old and Gypsy is 33. And that's if he hasn't already turned 33. I can't remember exactly when Ken's birthday is, but he may have already turned 33. And Gypsy will be 34 next month on the 27th. I'm sorry, next month, because it's June. Yeah, next month. In July, she'll be 34. So he's only a year younger than her. So I don't know why she's talking like she's so much more mature and older than him. I mean, she's definitely put him through a lot of stress and anxiety and worry and all of that to the point he does look older. He actually looks way older than her. I mean, look at this picture from where she was throwing roses at him, throwing the fake rose petals at him, doing that video, and he continued to keep the TV remote in his hand, could care less. And he's done and I'm not being mean or trying to make fun of him or anything like that in any way, but he has lost more hair and his hair has gotten even more gray. And we all know now, or most of you know by now, his family reached out to some creators, and one of his family members reached out to us, this was last year, and said that when he found out that Gypsy was pregnant, when he was still living in Texas and found out she was pregnant, it stressed him out so bad to the point that he started drinking, and they were worried about how much he was drinking and doing rugs and that sort of thing because he was so worried and stressed out about her being pregnant. But hey, dude, that's what happens when you don't use protection, But anyway, what are y'all's thoughts on her saying that she loves seeing him step into this new mature role and watching him mature, watching him become more mature? Now, y'all listen to this toward the end of the article. After it states that about Gypsy saying that I've learned that he is a lot more patient than I gave him credit for, she continued. So it's been wonderful to watch him grow as a person through the last year, but also step into this new mature role. Now, this is Ken talking to People Magazine. Urker, who chose the name Aurora. Now that's odd because People Magazine has told us before, plus we already know because Gypsy and Ken have told us that, well, not Gypsy and Ken, Gypsy told us that when she was in prison that they both wrote down on a piece of paper, a list of names that they would want to name their future children. And they both wrote down the name Aurora because they both loved the Aurora Northern Lights. So they both wrote down the name Aurora. As far as we know, Ken has never confirmed that they did that. He may have, I don't know, but as far as we know, Ken never confirmed that they did that. But if they did, okay. But it says that Ken chose the name Aurora. But Gypsy's always said they both chose that name. And People magazine has even said they both chose that name. But now they're saying Urker, who chose the name Aurora, told People they've been borrowing a neighbor's scale to periodically weigh Aurora. They've loved, quote, just watching that number grow, end quote, as well as witnessing in real time what her eye color will be and what kind of hair she'll have. I love her to DEATH, and every day I get to see her grow more and more in all these little ways. He told People, her eyes opening wider as the weeks go on and her starting to develop a little bit of a social smile now, and just watching her get bigger. I really am just soaking in all these moments and enjoying them to the fullest, Urker added. I want to spoil her and just make her happy. Now, why are they borrowing a neighbor's scale to weigh baby Aurora? Unless the neighbor happens to have a specific infant scale, because that's what you would need to get an accurate weight on a baby. You would need an infant scale. You can't use just a regular bathroom scale. Y'all know what I mean? I mean, you can, but you wouldn't get an accurate weight for a baby, because she can't just step up on it and stand there herself and be weighed. Y'all know what I mean? So that's why when you take them to the doctor, they lay them in the infant scale and get a weight on them. That's weird. Do y'all not think that is weird that they're doing that? What are y'all's thoughts on that? I'm just curious to know. And then the article ends by saying, the pair first connected while Blanchard was serving time in prison for her role in the unaliving of her mother, Dee Blanchard. Urker began writing letters to her after seeing HBO's documentary Mommy, DEAD, and Dearest, and they began dating while Blanchard was still incarcerated. Urker proposed to Blanchard in October of 2018, but they eventually broke off the engagement. Ken broke up with Gypsy is what happened a few months later. But after Blanchard's split from ex-husband Ryan Scott Anderson in March 2024, she and Urker reconnected romantically. Now here they are saying March again. In March 2024, she and Urker reconnected romantically. You could say it's a typo, but People magazine have gone back and forth between March and April so many times, y'all. But we all know that it was March. But anyway. And then the comments. I wanted to show y'all this. Hubby and I were looking at another article about Gypsy in People magazine, and we noticed there was absolutely no comments in the comment section. And we thought that's odd because there's always comments in the comment section on these articles about Gypsy. And there's one other thing I'm going to show y'all too that Gypsy was saying that we happened to catch on Bree's Live from early this morning. I apologize if y'all hear that. It's a bad thunderstorm going on right now where we're at, where we live. Anyway, in the comment section, they have 6 comments here, but on other articles they've done, there's no comments, which is wild. So we've seen that mainstream media, especially People magazine, is starting to protect Gypsy again, instead of letting people say what they want to say. So the first comment says, I see People is censoring, quote, haters again to protect, quote, sweet, innocent Gypsy Rose. What happened to freedom of speech? Exactly. And they are, because People magazine, again, is keeping the comments deleted. So it's wild. Someone wrote, I think the little family looks great. People should have more compassion for what she was put through in her childhood. Like what? Like what, Darby person? What was she put through in her childhood that was unnecessary or wasn't needed? The next person wrote, please stop glorifying this mommy schmurderer. She unalived her mom for sex. so she could have sex and plans on boozing it up on Bourbon Street when her parole ends instead of taking care of her baby. Stop it, People Magazine. She is trash and hangs out with trash. Okay, I'll go back to those other few comments in just a second. But speaking of her parole, Gypsy is planning to party it up. And yes, moms can have a night out. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But that person commented, she's planning to booze it up and all of that and not watch her baby. Now, we've been told by a source that Gypsy does leave baby Aurora any chance she gets. She just leaves her all the time to go off with friends or whatever. I mean, she doesn't have many friends. We know she has Bree, though, that will come and pick her up. But that she just leaves baby Aurora all the time. We have not been able to, fact check that 100%. But we know that she was not with the baby for at least a week during Father's Day week. So, and then apparently when she is around baby Aurora, she just leaves her with whoever is around. I'm not saying whoever, strangers, but Christy, Mia, just whoever's around. She just doesn't have any interest in baby Aurora, from what we've been told. You just have to take our word on it. Believe us if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But she is planning this party. We've shown y'all this picture before where Gypsy and Bree bought these glow-in-the-dark things, like glow-in-the-dark glasses and bracelets and little glow-in-the-dark sticks you can hang around your neck. Also, the foil curtains you hang in a doorway that you can walk through, and glow-in-the-dark balloons. Now, also for her parole, Bree has bought a few other things, and this is if she gets off parole. And she doesn't have much longer left. I mean, she has till June 25th, and then they're supposed to be partying it up if she makes it off parole. Thank you so much to the person that caught this live for us, of Bree's. Apparently, Bree had been on a live stream on TikTok since 10 p.m. last night. And I'm coming back on here to add this in to the video that was already done. I wanted to add this in on here. This was literally last night. Bree got on TikTok at 10 p.m. and she stayed on for 12 hours, apparently doing her nails the whole time. And someone recorded it for us and sent it to us. So thank you so much to that person that done that. We truly appreciate it. But right here, Bree is showing a canvas poster of Gypsy's idol, Taylor Swift, that she bought for Gypsy when she gets off of parole. And she was showing it to Gypsy. Gypsy was in the chat. And you can see right here where Gypsy wrote, "Ooh," to that. Bree is also showing Gypsy here that she bought her Taylor Swift stickers. Like a pack of 100 Taylor Swift stickers. And she's holding them up to the camera to show Gypsy that she bought all these Taylor Swift stickers for Gypsy when she gets off of parole. And then she shows these cups saying she's going, and Gypsy wrote, "Perfect for my laptop." Then Bree shows these cups. They're all the same. She said, "I got 12 of them for $5. We all know Bree loves to go shopping at the dollar store or the dollar spot or whatever. But she found these cups and she bought them for Gypsy's parole party. So they got the Taylor Swift poster, the Taylor Swift stickers, the glow-in-the-dark stuff, and now these cups. And Bree said she's going to use her Cricut machine to print something on all of the cups for her and Gypsy. And we know the blonde-headed girl, Danny, that's going to be going out with them. But she doesn't know what she's going to print on the cups yet. This blonde girl right here on the right is Danielle, Danny from Bama, yeah, I think that's what her TikTok name is, Danny from Bama, or something like that. But it's supposed to be these three going out. I don't know if anyone else is going with them, but this is where they went out the last time, to the 504 Club. When Gypsy, during Jazz Fest, when Gypsy was, or seemed to be, very intoxicated. I'll just say it that way. Also, there's a point during this live, which we're going to talk about in a different video, where Robin Farmer, who is just another minion that sits on these lives all night long like this with Bree, because they told Bree, I've been on live with you since 10 p.m., but you were started before that. And Bree said, really? Oh my gosh, I haven't done a long live in a while. Have we really been on all night? And they said, and somebody on the panel said, yeah, I've been here since 10 p.m. And Bree said, oh, well, I was looking at all of my nails and stuff, because she's gluing on these clear nails and trying to draw ice cream cones on the nails. But it doesn't look very good. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. But again, Bree's not a nail tech, so, there's that, I guess. But y'all look at this. What Gypsy was saying, what we seen her saying in the comment section. She was saying, because she had asked, is there any way that I can do, like, subscribers only lives on TikTok? And they were telling her, yeah. And they were saying, yeah, you can make a lot of money on this app. The people on the panel, Rachel, Aubrey Strawberry, Planty, Bree, all of them were talking about all this money you can make on the TikTok app. And Gypsy even admitted, yeah, you can make a lot of money over here. I do. So Gypsy was saying that, yeah, I make a lot of money over here. Some of the other ones were saying, yeah, we make a lot of money on this app. But yet they act like they never have any money. So Gypsy wrote, okay, right here where the pink arrow is, she wrote, okay, so from now on, I will only do subscription lives. I found how to do it. I think the haters will hate it. No, Gypsy, I think you're going to find that you hate it when all these people that send you gifts find out they have to pay your high prices for a subscription just to be on your live, and they don't pay it and they don't join it, and therefore you don't get all these gifts thrown at you on your TikTok lives. Therefore, you don't make all the money you expect to make on your lives on TikTok. So that's what's going to be funny. And that's what you're going to hate, Gypsy. Robin Farmer had commented to Gypsy and said, I sent you some baby clothes, to her P.O. box. And Gypsy said, yeah, I just got them. Thank you so much. They're cute. But here's where she's saying, I think the haters will hate it. No, I think Gypsy's gonna hate it, y'all. What do y'all think? And then she writes, only subs. Yes, you can. You can do it. One other thing that I wanted to show y'all that happened in this live was somebody that joined the live that usually hangs out with them, I guess, because they knew who it was, or else they would have kicked them out. Because y'all can see there was only like 20-something people in the chat, in the live or whatever. This was while Gypsy was in the chat and talking. You can see this person's TikTok name come up. And they stayed in the chat for a while and kept talking about different things or whatever, and Bree grinding away on her nails and the skin of her nails. But look at the person's name. Dee Petrie, sympathy denied. Y'all remember the graduation picture I showed y'all at the beginning of this video? I didn't know this was going to happen when I came back to edit this part in. But Dee Petrie, sympathy denied. And Gypsy's totally okay with that. Totally okay with communicating, being friends with, and talking with someone who has that as their TikTok name, talking about her own mother. So it looks like they're planning to go out maybe, but to have a children's party first. I don't know. With all these Taylor Swift stickers and the Taylor Swift poster and these little cups, like it literally looks like party favors you give away at a child's party. Seriously. So we just read Amber's mom's comment. So going back to the People magazine article, here's the other 3 comments. Her mother had a very bad case of Munchausen by proxy. No, she did not. SEX was not the reason Gypsy's mom was unalived. The boyfriend did the actual unaliving. So this is someone that is literally spewing what Gypsy wants them to spew. And then they say, reread her story. You are so wrong about this and sound very hateful. Well, so do you, Candace. And reading Gypsy's story is not going to give you any facts. How about read the actual facts, the court documents, the police records, the text messages, how Nick wasn't even at her house until June 10th, yet Dee Dee was unalived on June 9th. How about you do that? Then this person says, the doctor wasn't weigh the baby. Who borrows a scale to do that? When will she step into motherhood? Loving someone to DEATH is not a good idea. Y'all can understand what they're saying here, like borrowing someone's scale to weigh your baby. That's weird. That's odd. It's odd that she hasn't stepped into motherhood. When is she going to step into motherhood? And then they're saying, like, I know people use that phrase a lot, not really meaning it, obviously, but like, I love you to DEATH. But they don't really mean that. But this person is saying it can be dangerous, and it can. Think of people who are on rugs or people who really do have Munchausen by proxy, Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and they're making their child sick or whoever they're caring for sick to DEATH. And then the last person writes, gross, stop talking about these trash people. Talking about Gypsy and Ken. So what are y'all's thoughts and opinions on all of this? We can't wait to see what y'all have to say. We want to know what y'all have to say about all of this. Please let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll be conversating with y'all like always. Again, if you're not already, please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of the things, share, all of the things, and we would truly appreciate it so very much. And again, thank you so much to all of our subscribers. We truly love and appreciate y'all. And we see where some of y'all have commented and said to please leave a like, please leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And if you do think you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed, y'all, because a lot of times YouTube will unsubscribe people quarterly, trying to get rid of bots and stuff. So make sure you're still subscribed. But we do see those comments that are telling other people to make sure they hit the like button and make sure they comment and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for that. Hubby had pointed out some comments to me where somebody was saying that. And I told him, well, I've already seen some. So look at these. So we were showing each other some comments from a few of y'all that had commented stuff like that. So thank y'all so much for that. Thank y'all for the support. It truly means so much to us. We'll see y'all in the next one. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and hope y'all have a good night and God bless. Bye.